Hello, hi, we're now live. We're now live and we're going to be bringing a scope to you today, joining Monopoly, Art and Southwell together. Hi ABW Networking, glad you could join. You've got people in West Bridgford, so you might quite like this. I'm going to introduce you to Max, who has created the Southwell edition Monopoly and is going to tell you some more. So hi everybody that's joining. So I'm going to spin round and introduce you to Max.
Hi there.
Max.
Yeah, so
I'm
I'm Max, and I created the West Bridgford Monopoly art print about 3 or 4 months ago, I think. And
hi, Max says ABW Networking.
Hi ABW Networking, and shortly after the success of that, my friend Rupert, who runs Real Clothing in Southwell, said, could I create a Southwell one? And I was umming and ahhing about it, and I didn't really know much about the town, so I spoke with him and chatted with him, and we drew a rough board up together, and we're just at the point where we're getting the frames together to push that one out in the next 7 to 10 days, I hope, if not sooner. What brought me to start them all in the first place was really I was sitting at home and looking at the like a beer flyer or an advert for a pub crawl, and it was kind of like a Monopoly board, kind of like a tube map, and it just sparked, and I thought, oh, what about West Bridgford? That could do with a Monopoly board. I wonder if anyone's ever done it before. So I had a look. I knew there was a Nottingham one, and no one had that I knew of or could find, so I put one together as a bit of a joke and just as a bit of art, and my wife Janet slung it up on Facebook or Twitter or one of them, or both or something, and it got a lot of positive response after about 24 hours. So I redrew it and then looked at how to make it a professional print rather than just something I created on a computer, and that's how we got to where we are.
I heard that it went a little bit balmy actually on Twitter. Everybody in West Bridgford
it did.
fighting over it.
I mean, we had 100 names. I think within sort of 3 or 4 days we had 100 people that had reserved one, and then I had to make it. I hadn't even made it at that point. I hadn't even printed a copy myself, so it did go balmy, and I think we're around about the 150. I think we sold 150 now. So other one's slightly different. The bubble, I think, in which West Bridgford operates in is maybe slightly different than Southwell. So I'm hoping, I think we've got 50 reserved, maybe a few more. But I've only done a first run of 50, and if it's really picks up, I think it's on a first come first served basis. Yeah. But Janet runs all that. I don't do it. I just draw it.
These are going to be all limited edition.
That's right.
The first 50, and they're all numbered.
That's right.
And we at tomorrow's Southwell pop-up stall,
right. Yep,
and the Arts and Crafts Market are launching a competition as
That's
well
right.
to get a copy.
That's right. So I did have a spare frame, so I framed up the first one out the box, numbered it and signed it, framed it, and I think there's going to be a competition. I don't know the exact rules, but I know it's going to run for a little time, and it's a question and answer, I believe.
It is.
It is. So the question that was posed or put to me to give to you guys was, how many languages does the official Monopoly board come in? So how many languages does the official the official game, how many languages is it produced in?
Okay.
So that's the question.
So
you'll
you
get
now
asked.
know the question, but we're going to be launching the competition tomorrow, and then we'll be giving more information of that. ABW Networking came on and asked how many businesses are needed to create a board. Now I know that there's specific. This isn't actually business related, is it? The board itself.
No. The thing was, it's not done through sponsorship. So if you look at the local boards that were created officially, like the Nottingham one, and Plymouth and Devon and all these other places that have been done, I think what happens is there's a company that goes round and they sell off squares, and then I imagine that once they get to a certain number they can produce it. This wasn't done like that. Originally it wasn't really done to make any money at all. I just wanted to create the print. So there are no businesses on the board. The reason for that was the whole idea was to create a print that looked like a 1950s Monopoly board.
Yeah.
So
I will show you guys again.
and so it's not done for advertising reasons. I mean, I suppose technically speaking, the pubs are businesses, but it's not, because I'm not mentioning the brewer.
Right.
It's a pub name rather than the brewer.
And you're trying to. I think you tried to keep to independent pubs as well, didn't you?
Tried to. It's a bit difficult, but yes, and it's more to do with the look and feel of the board rather than selling off squares and making it a commercial advertising space.
Yeah.
And the same with the other squares, like the Minster isn't a business, and the Workhouse, I mean, National Trust, it's not really a business, is it? And so it's more to do with the look and feel of the board itself.
It's about the community and the area.
Yeah, that's right. And had there been a board created in the 50s or 60s, this is what I imagined it would look like, and that's the idea behind it.
Okay, I'm going to spin round and show everybody, because a couple of people have asked again. I'm not sure if you can see it all there actually. If I just, we've got a bit of reflection on it, but if you can see, you've got in the Minster, and then you've got all the different roads. Now I know that a
lot of talk behind there.
There's a lot of talk about which roads should actually be allowed on and which shouldn't, and what's true to the area. So it really is, creating one of these really does need feedback from locals so that they can own it in a way as well and be proud of it. It's not easy to choose between roads.
the thing is that I couldn't do it without any help with Southwell. I've done one for KingsBridge, which is the town in Devon I grew up in, and that was fairly straightforward because I could do that pretty much myself without having any assistance. So if I was to create any other boards, which I don't know whether I will or whether I won't, if it was somewhere where I didn't know, I'd have to liaise with someone, because the look and feel and the sort of in-jokes like the Minster and the cycling and all that sort of stuff, I can kind of get myself. The Workhouse and the House of Correction was fairly straightforward. Pubs, a little bit less so, but the roads, you need local knowledge to really get them sort of just right, because I wouldn't have a clue. With this one, West Bridgford, again, I was able to do 70-80% myself and then get a sort of born and bred local to help me. And I got it just about right. A couple of the oranges and yellows we swapped around. But yeah, so it is good to have the community own it. So I learnt from the Southwell one as well, and from the West Bridgford one, where I went to Facebook. I found on Facebook for the KingsBridge one a local group of people that share old photographs and stuff of KingsBridge, and just said, I'm going to create one, what do you think? And then just let them have at it, and just let them fight over it on the Facebook, and then I just took what I wanted and
I've just
and
been
things
asked
like
a
that.
question, is it hard not to offend the Brown Streets?
Well, and again, not for me, because I don't know this area, and I kind of looked at it as it's better to be on the board than not, in many ways. With KingsBridge, I did something different, and what I did is I used, for the entire bottom row, which is the browns and the light blues, I used streets that no one lived on. I used lanes, back lanes, so that no one can go, oh, well, you only live on the brown or the light blues, and everything else then becomes a road. So it could be, yes, I did think about it, and would people be offended? But then I met people bought the West Bridgford one that were on the light blues and the browns, and they were quite happy to be there if they're not, I think.
We've had Rolleston Kitchen, who is based out in Rolleston in one of the villages, said that it's looking good, and ABW Networking also asked whether there are plans for a next one. So you've done Knightsbridge, West Bridge.
No, KingsBridge. Knightsbridge is in London, but no, KingsBridge, which is near Salcombe, sort of in between Torquay and Plymouth. Right at the south of Devon, and
West Bridgford and Southwell.
That's right. Yeah. So those are the three that I've done. Maybe. I mean, if I did, I think it would probably be, I don't know, November or December, because I've never done two boards at the same time, having only done the West Bridgford one. So maybe sort of in the winter I might do a winter project and think of another one, but it could be anywhere. I mean, it's really, if someone came to me and asked, and I'd think, well, maybe I'm bored, I've got nothing else to do, then I could do it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And another question, how much do they sell for?
So again, we learnt from the West Bridgford one, rather than originally we sold them as unframed and framed, because my original idea was to sell them unframed at 25 and then framed at 40, and then what we found was the sort of 25 people that bought them unframed, 25 2 of them came back to get frames because they can't find frames that will fit.
Yeah.
'Cause they're quite an unusual size. They're 22 by 22 inches, and you pretty much have to get them made. And I have loads of them. Well, I will have next week. So now they're only self-framed.
Yeah.
It's because again, West Bridgford wasn't a problem because they could come back to me. I'm 3 streets away.
Yeah.
With KingsBridge and sort of Southwell, they're going to come back to me. They'd have to come to West Bridgford, which would just be
Yeah.
a pain. So they're going to sell 40 framed.
Okay.
That's what they're going to be.
Okay. Fantastic. Thanks everyone for joining. Remember that you can, I'm going to home back on this so that you don't feel quite on the spot.
Okay.
So anybody who's just joining or who's watched the replay, remember that you can swipe across for iOS and is it up for iOS? Oh, I've forgotten. You all know. Right, if you could swipe and share across to your Twitter feeds, share across to your followers, copy the link and put it across on your Facebook and your other networks, that would be great. And do tune in tomorrow to see the launch of the competition, and obviously visit us at Southwell Scoop and also at the Southwell Scoop on Facebook, and we can give you the details of the competition on there as well. And you can also find Max and his lovely wife, who are actually selling these at WB Monopoly on Twitter, and also WB Monopoly on Facebook. And if you want to place an order for West Bridgford or Southwell or KingsBridge, you could be collectors of the actual art prints, the official art prints, then just drop them a line, drop them a message, or email. Have you got an email address? Or is it just messages?
there's wbmonopoly@yahoo.co.uk, but the Facebook, Twitter, or the email makes no odds to it.
All really easy. Okay, that's great. Oh, nice shoes, yeah, and twos. Right, thanks a lot, guys, and see you again. Cheers, bye.